Hi guys, and welcome back to Crochet Rocks. My name's Tracy, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do the double crochet, and that's in UK terms. In the US it's a single crochet. For this tutorial I'm going to use this cello wool oceanic yarn. It's 100% acrylic, and I believe it's an Aran weight yarn. I'm going to use a 6.5mm crochet hook. That way you can easily see what I'm doing. So to start off, I'll start with a slip knot, and the way I was taught to do my slip knot was by making a loop and then going to the back of it and going into the loop and just pulling it through. That did look a little clumsy. I'll do that again for you. So it's make a loop, go around the back, through the loop and pull it tight. And then you can just loosen it off. I do apologise, I've got paint fumes in the house. We're painting just about every room. There's no escape from it, I'm afraid. So I'm just going to make a small swatch for you today, and start off by doing a chain. So it's yarn around the hook and pull it through, yarn around the hook and pull it through, yarn around the hook and pull it through. That's simply a chain, yarn around the hook and pull it through. So I'm going to do a few more, just and so we have enough for a small swatch. I hope that doesn't become too annoying for you. So the double crochet, we go into the second chain from the hook, and it doesn't matter how many chains you do, it's just a multiple of one. So however many your pattern needs, and then the one extra turning chain. So this loop on the hook doesn't count. This is our first chain, and the second chain is here. We go into that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. We've got two loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through both. And then you can see there we have the second chain in our group of chain. So we go into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, two loops on a hook, yarn over, pull through both, and into the next chain, yarn over and pull through a loop, yarn over and pull through both, into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, two loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. And that is how to do the double crochet. And we'll just go into every chain along until we get to the end, in the same way doing our double crochet, single crochet in American terms. It's very confusing, I think, when you hear both when you watch tutorials. It does become confusing, but especially when a double crochet is something different in UK terms as it is in US terms. It can be quite confusing, so always check what terminology the tutorial or the pattern has. So now we've got to the end. This is our last chain. We go in, do our double crochet, one chain to turn and turn our work. It's a quite close-knit stitch, very few holes between, but you can clearly see the stitches. They're all, if you look at the top line, you can see it looks like a row of chain. You can see each stitch, and so this is our first stitch here. And again we go into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, into the next stitch. I've only got half of it then. Into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And it's just as simple as that all the way along to the end. I'll speed up a little bit. If I go too fast for you, then by all means pause the video. I'll try not to go too fast. This yarn does split a little bit, and it's a little annoying. Some yarns do that, unfortunately. You soon find out which ones, and you might, when you're learning, you might want to avoid them because it can be annoying. So simply into each stitch all the way to the end, and here's our last stitch, and there's our last one, and one chain to turn. Now I think that being a nice tight stitch, it's really good for any kind of edging. I have made baby mittens out of this because they can't get their fingers through it, and I often do a nice border around blankets with this and then do a nice fancy edging. So we'll do another row. So we put our hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and we just continue doing the same all the way to the end, and with our one turning chain. A nice simple stitch, and you can easily see where you go into the next stitch. It's a great stitch for beginners, I think, and it grows quite quickly compared to knitting. It's not a tall stitch, so it doesn't grow as quickly as some, but you do sacrifice the fact that if you have a longer stitch, then you do get quite a lot of gaps and holes in your work that some people like, some people don't particularly like it. So again, we'll come to the last stitch. Now with the double crochet, I quite often ignore the last stitch and go into my last chain, and sometimes I manage to hook them both together, and I like to do that because it keeps that edge lovely and straight. You don't have to do that. It's quite we've just got the one turning chain, so it doesn't really bulge out too much, but you do get these little loops that pop out. And I find going into that last, instead of the stitch, but trying to catch it when I go into my stitch, or just going into the turning chain, you don't get a big gap in between, and it does alleviate that little bump. But usually you put an edging on things anyway, so it won't really matter too much. But that's basically how to do the double crochet in UK terms and single crochet in the US terms. Thank you very much for watching. If I could ask you to give me a thumbs up, to like and share this video, and if you could subscribe to my channel. If you click on the little notification bell, then any new videos, you'll get a little notification telling you when they're there. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.